All right. Welcome back, folks, to the FF Face Off. This is a fantasy football podcast, part of the Face Off Sports Network. And today we're coming at you with some last minute sit questions for what is this now? Week 5? This is insane. It's already week
The
5.
Ocho.
Yeah, the Ocho. That is correct. So you guys feel free to jump into the live chat. Ask your questions. We will answer them. Things will get a little chaotic at some point, so we might ask you to type them in again, maybe potentially if we get a little bogged down. Feel free to also, if you want to cut the line, send in a super chat. This way your question goes to the front of the line. Last but not least, follow the show on X at FFFaceoff and also go to fffaceoff.com for all of your fantasy football, NFL, sports betting needs. My name is Michael Hoff. You can follow me on X at the FF Realist. I'm joined by the ever handsome, the ever wonderful, the ever charming Anthony Servino, who's enjoying soccer in Spain. He could be followed the real NFL guru. Anthony, how's about you?
Doing good. Happy to see some NFL football on early in the morning. We obviously we don't talk about soccer, but there's always soccer on. But happy to be here. Let's get some questions answered, lineup set, and let's win some money this week.
Amen. Yes, let's do that, and let's hopefully have a better morning than the Jets are having right now. So there you go. There's my Jets input for right now. They just can't get out of their own effing way. All right.
Aaron Jones with that, it was a 24-yard catch, and depending on what book, the receiving yards total is 25, and the way betting works, this is not going to hit.
Yeah, right. Yes. You'll still sweat it out. Albert is first with a question here. He's asking Zay Flowers or Wan'Dale Robinson. This is a full point per reception league. For me, I'm still going to go Zay Flowers here. I know Wan'Dale is going to get a ton of targets, but I also think that game might get out of hand. Aaron Rodgers just threw another interception. But yeah, I'm going to go Zay Flowers here. It's kind of close here, but not really for me. Anthony, I think the Ravens going to put up some points here, and I think Zay Flowers is going to get a cheap touchdown here. So, but what says you?
Yeah, I actually like Wan'Dale Robinson a lot this week. He should get volume. I like Tyrone Tracy a lot this week. He should get volume, but in a perfect world, like Zay Flowers might be the way to go because I just don't know how much ceiling Wan'Dale is going to have this week without Malik Neighbors. So like he can get 10 targets and still manage 12 PPR points where like Zay Flowers, these matchups between Cincy and Baltimore are usually high scoring. So I'm going to go with Zay Flowers with you.
All right, there you go. William Stevenson's also in the chat, so I'll just quickly say, let's go Mets. There you go. Kevin's asking, trade my Rice for Garrett Wilson on a contender.
Is this dynasty, Kevin? Because I think that's important.
And he's also asking us, should we start Whittington or Freiermuth in the flex? I would go with Whittington. You saw the snap percentage between between week 3 and week 4. The snap percentage that he had was skyrocketed. So now I think the targets are going to start to come with the high snap count. So I would go Whittington over Freiermuth. But yeah, let us know.
I'm with you on Whittington, but I need to know, we need to know if this is dynasty or not with the Rice for Garrett Wilson question.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, as we always say on this fine program, context is key. So yeah, Kevin, get back to us on that, and we'll answer. So there you go.
Now, like for what it's worth, like there's a chance if you've been following the Rashee Rice news, he might be back. Like he's going to doctors. He's going to obviously miss the 4 mandatory games on IR, but I feel like we would know if this was season ending by now. On the other hand, this could also be a situation like Mark Andrews last year where like he's back for the NFL playoffs, not the fantasy playoffs.
Right.
So there's many ranges of outcomes, but yeah, let's get back to us.
Yeah, I do think the longer we go without like a final decision on what's going on with his knees, probably better for him, to be honest with you, because if it was bad, they would know right away.
Yeah.
So William Stevenson does ask though, 1 RB, 1 flex, half point per reception. Akers, Sermon, and Whittington. They all have good matchups today. That they do, William. I'm going, just like I said earlier, I'm going Whittington, as I'll put that in the flex. And I'm going to go with 49ers legend Trey Sermon going today for the Colts with no Jonathan Taylor and very likely no Anthony Richardson.
All right, so what do we have? We have Akers, Sermon, Whittington, one running back, one flex, half point. I'm also going to go Sermon and Whittington. I do like this matchup for Cam Akers. Buffalo is the worst rushing defense in the NFL for fantasy running backs. But they also played look at the game Derrick Henry had against them, and Jacksonville is also an easy matchup. So I'm going to go with Sermon. I just think there's more volume there.
All right, sounds good to me. Kevin did get back to us, and he did say Rice and Wilson question is dynasty.
I would say yes. And the reason why, you're a contender. Maybe Rice comes back and helps you this year, but we also have to remember there is that looming suspension for Rice that's going to cost you games next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a world, we don't know, maybe Aaron Rodgers shakes this and gets back, and that's good for Garrett Wilson. But let's say Aaron Rodgers is done, or the Jets say, okay, we're going to move on. They're not going to go to a downgrade. They're going to find a quarterback. I don't know who. I don't know what it's going to be. I think they go find a veteran somewhere.
Don't you worry about the Jets' track record, though, as far as quarterback? Like you just said this morning in
okay, think about
text, do you think Sam Darnold's actually a good quarterback?
Right. Maybe they trade for J.J. McCarthy. I mean, I guess he's another unknown, but Garrett Wilson seems like he was better off with Zach Wilson right now.
That is that's not good. That's not good. Anyway, so all right, let's move it on here. Let's get back.
I don't know. I'm doing it, and I love Rice. But what worries me is you're a contender, which means you're probably going to be a contender next year too, and you're gonna, I don't know how long the suspension is going to be. Maybe it's 2 games, maybe it's 8 games.
Yep. Consistently inconsistent with the suspensions. Yeah. That is the NFL. So let's go to another question here. This one's coming in from the mighty Quinn. Jason Quinn says, "Good morning. Would you start JSN, Downs, or Ford at the flex? Half point per reception for me. I'm going with Jackson Smith-Njigba going up against the Giants. It's a home game. I think this is going to be a thing where the offense is going to have a hard time staying on the field. That being the Giants. Giants defense gets gassed. Then Giants defense gets gashed. So, and I think Jackson Smith-Njigba will be part of that. So yeah, I'm rolling that way. Even though I do have a share of Josh Downs in one of my DFS lineups, which by the way, I will put that link in here for you guys to join us on DraftKings. $5 entry. Anthony, did you join yet?
No, but I will because I will. I promise I will. I will 100% do it after the show.
I don't trust you, but okay. But yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
I actually pre-registered for a couple other DraftKings spots, so I have to do it.
Yeah, better. Be a team player, guy.
So we have Jerome Ford, JSN. Downs is so interesting with Flacco and the matchup. And there's going to be a lot of throwing to football with JSN volume. Now, it's volatile volume. 2 games over 10 targets, 2 games, I think under 5, under 4. This is a great matchup against New York, but can it be also dominated by the running game? And then you have Ford, who I like a lot against Washington in a potential shootout.
Yeah.
I think I feels the safest with Josh Downs. And I'm in this predicament myself with a couple of my teams. But I think I'm going to go Downs here.
Well, I mean, it's close for me, but I'm going. I agree with you. It's probably safer, I guess. It's probably you're getting a better floor, perhaps, with Downs, with Jackson Smith. You're probably getting you're looking for that big touchdown, that big play. So, but whatever. So, tomato. That's the way I'm going. Sam Darnold just overthrew somebody very far. William Stevenson also asking Sermon or Tracy. We just spoke about the Giants. Obviously, we're going to get Tracy out there, but I'm still going Sermon here in this one.
If you need more, I think the bigger ceiling play might be Tyrone Tracy. I think Sermon, is similar, like what we've seen out of Akers, maybe 10, 12 PPR points. He falls into the end zone.
Right.
Tyrone Tracy, I had said in the offseason, somebody asked, who's the Kyren Williams? Remember, nobody knew, Kyren Williams was an opportunity-based play. can do a little bit of everything. And I never felt like Devin Singletary was a good enough running back to where, like, if Tyrone Tracy was good enough and he had the opportunity, he takes the job. I think, I'm not saying he's going to be Kyron Williams, but I do think this opportunity for Tyrone Tracy is huge, and I might throw him out there. I'm starting him myself in the spot. If there's any, he's just the unknown.
Right.
Converted wide receiver, and Dable, we talk about Wandale's targets. Maybe Tyrone Tracy gets 6 to 8 targets today. I don't think that's crazy either.
It's not crazy. It's all right. I'll buy into that. All right. We do have a super chat, though, so let's get to the super chat. Derek Just says, full point per reception flex. Pick one, Ford, Downs, or Ayuk. Anthony, is this finally the week? I think you declared last week would be the week. Is this finally the week where we get a Brandon Ayuk game? I mean, because that's the real question here. Because if you think this is the week that he's finally going to do it, then it's not even a question. You're going with Ayuk. If you're a little skeptical, I think this time then I would go Downs. But I think this is actually time. I do think it's time. They're going up against the Arizona Cardinals. The game's going to be in San Francisco. Ayuk has done fairly well against the Cardinals in the past. So I think Ayuk finally gets something going here.
That's what I'm gonna look up. We have, Downs obviously has played against Jacksonville too. One game, solid stat line, 521-1.
And I feel better about Joe Flacco throwing to Downs than I would say if it was
if it was Anthony Richardson this would not be a conversation.
Yeah.
I just want to do my due diligence here and once again look up Ayuk. Sporadic, couple of nice matchups, 3 out of his past 5 games, well over 15 PPR points. So I'm going to go Ayuk.
Yep.
I think all week I've been saying I think this is the week the rust is off, and yes, we're going to see Kittle and Deebo Samuel. Sure. Kittle looks like he's trending in the right direction, but that just means somebody's going to get loose.
Right. And by the way, the other thing to keep in mind when you say that sort of thing, yes, Kittle's going to be there. Yes, Deebo's going to be there. I mean, they were there last year, and Ayuk did just fine. I think that more so applies to like a Juwan Jennings kind of, whatever. But thank you for that, Derek. And yeah, if you guys send in a super chat, you will cut the line as far as questions go. Zach Linton did say he is in on our DraftKings DFS contest today.
So it looks like we just got a pick from the Minnesota Vikings, by the way. I mean, we're thrown by the Minnesota Vikings. Picked off, looks like, by the Jets, right?
I don't know. Now they're on commercial, and I'm paying attention to the show, Anthony.
I'm trying to multitask because I like you. One of these days we're gonna come on during the day during an NFL game during NFL week, and I really want to do this. It's something I wanted to do for years, so maybe it'll happen soon. And we come and react to the games, throw some live bets out there. I'd
like to see you watch a live 49er game. That's what I want. All right.
Tim, I don't hate the 49ers.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes, you do. You either hate them or me.
49ers of the 90s and the 80s. I don't really hate the current 49ers because Dallas hasn't been relevant enough to for you to do much.
That's good. That's nice to hear. All right. Tim J over on the YouTube. He says, start Shaheed, Keon Coleman, Tolbert, or Trey Parker. PPR, thanks. I'm going Trey Tucker here. I've got him in some DFS lineups. I've got him in my home league. I like this. No Devontae Adams. The matchup isn't the best, but sometimes even though the matchup isn't the best, players are still going to get targets. They're still going to get production. The fact that this is PPR, that makes me like Trey Tucker. I think he's probably going to get, you can make the argument here. I mean, it's not even an argument, I don't think. He's probably going to get the most targets out of this group of players that Tim is mentioning.
So this is tough because Denver's Denver's secondary, really their defense overall has been really good this year. I get what you're saying on the Trey Tucker deal. 6 and 9 targets the past 2 games. I like Trey Tucker long term.
Sure.
Then you got Jalen Tolbert, who looks like he's going to get a nice run of This is a bad matchup against Pittsburgh too. Keon Coleman with no Shakir or Shaheed. You don't like Shaheed?
I do. I
You've
do.
been
I
on the
just, I,
Shaheed train a little bit more than me. And what's intriguing about Shaheed is he had volume last week. Really, for the first time, I saw this guy, and I sat him. I told people to sit him because I'm like, hey, he doesn't get the volume, and then he's really volatile. And we saw that against Philly when he dropped a touchdown. But last week,
Mhm.
11 targets, and he delivered 8 for 83, and then 2 for 14 on the ground. In Kansas City, Derek Carr knows how to play against Chiefs. I might go. I'm going to go Khalil Shakir.
Okay. I mean, yeah. And by the way, wait, not Khalil Shakir. He's out. You mean?
Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm sorry. Just make sure we got it right because
Rashid Shaheed.
he's out today, so don't start him. But yeah, I don't know.
You
But
know what I mean.
see, I do. I don't know if I could trust Shaheed to get that
Shaheed.
kind of volume again. Though that's my deal with that. I mean, he would be the next guy I would take, but I'm still on the Rashid Shaheed train. I still have a
And for
monthly
what it's
ticket.
worth, Derek Carr, his career played a lot of games in Kansas City, but his most recent ones, I get it was a couple of years ago. It was a different team. Very solid outings. Very so like and what's significant is that Spags has been there for a long time, so he knows how to play against Spags.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So
We
I'm
got a
going
question
Shakir.
here. Okay. Well, I'm going Trey Tucker, but Tim, good luck to you. There you go. Josh Young says, I'm worried about the game script for DK Metcalf. Should I start Deontay Johnson instead? Full point per reception. No, I honestly, I wouldn't. I'm not scared of the game. I get why you're saying that, and it does have the potential, but I'm not worried about the game script for DK Metcalf today. I mean, I like Deontay Johnson, but I also this is a rough matchup for me with Andy Dalton going up against the Bears. I'm off the Andy Dalton hype train this week, so I'm not worried about DK Metcalf. I'd fire him in there.
Yeah, Deontay's been great. Bears have or the Panthers have been great. This Bears, I went over it all week how good their secondary has been against everybody not named Nico Collins. They've held only 2 guys outside of Nico Collins over 10 PPR points. That was last week, Atwell and Whittington. Everybody else held well under 9 all season long. But DK, he'll be fine. This is the Grubb offense has been outstanding, and he's the guy, right? Like, if you have to ask me, like JSN or DK is going to be the primary.
Sure.
He's the more likely to pop of the two if I had to pick one.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Dalton. Maybe this is Andy Dalton. Who knows? He says Fields or Purdy this week. Also, trade Etienne for Xavier Worthy and Keenan Allen. This is a full point per reception league. Anthony will take care of the Fields and Purdy part first. I do like the rushing upside of Justin Fields, but I'm going Brock Purdy. Last 3 games against the Cardinals, Brock Purdy has 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I like him this week. These guys are close, and I do like Fields on that rushing upside, but I'm still going with Brock Purdy.
I'm going to go Justin Fields.
We're not agreeing on anything today, huh? What the hell's going on here?
I know the Cowboys intimately. Their defense, like Diggs, a little bit banged up. We know he's opportunistic. He can give up a big one to Pickens. There's no Micah Parsons today. There's no DeMarcus Lawrence. He's on the shelf for a few weeks. Like, this is, I think they had like a practice squad corner getting run last week against the Giants, and Neighbors was tortured. Like, everyone was torching him. Like, Fields might give us 30 points today. That's his ceiling. So I get it. I do like Purdy this week, but like, this Steelers offense, if Arthur Smith somehow fucks this up for what they have in front of them against Dallas, like Sunday Night Football, this could be a bloodbath. Like, Steelers could realistically win this game like 45-10.
I mean, I don't think
that's crazy.
If you guys checked out the start sit quarterback video, I said to sit Dak Prescott this week because I don't like this matchup for them at all.
Yeah.
And I'm a Dak supporter, by the way, even though I hate the Cowboys. I am a Dak supporter. But really quick, we have to get to a super chat, but he does have that trade question. Would you trade Etienne for Xavier Worthy and Keenan Allen? I don't think I would. I mean, as we always say on this program, context is key, but so I would I'd be curious to know who your other running backs would be after you traded away ETN, but I don't think that's necessary, honestly. If you give us some more context down the line, if we can get to it, we'll definitely get to it. But yeah.
I need more than Keenan Allen.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
To be
Like,
fair, because like ETN, he's a high floor running back.
yeah.
And even if he doesn't give us those, or maybe he gets going, but like he's at least getting double-digit PPR points in all but one game. The thing, like with Keenan Allen, hasn't shown us anything. And Xavier Worthy, yes, he has 2 games over 16 PPR points. He has yet to have a game with north of 4 targets, even last week when Rice only played 8 snaps. And this Kansas City team, they were in a deficit, trailing, trying to win this football game. Worthy only had 4 targets. So we are, and I'm on the same place. I need to see it to believe it.
Sure.
So we're looking at a volatile touchdown dependent option in Worthy. So I would probably need a little bit, like I would take Worthy, and I need something better. I need
So
I need a volume guy. Yeah, I need a volume wide receiver.
Okay. No to that trade, Dalton. But let's get to our super chat here from Mr. Tyler Sperry. Maybe friends with Tyler Perry. We don't know, but he can tell us. $1.99 super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. He said start 2, Dell, Ford, Hunt, and drop Dell for Downs. Or drop Dell for Downs. I'm sorry. I don't think you need it. I wouldn't. I would like for you to find somebody else to drop for Downs instead of Tank Dell. Let that be the starting point there. Anthony, how would you be feeling about this here? He needs to start 2.
I like Ford this week a lot.
Yeah.
So he's 1.
Yeah, this is probably where I let Ford, because I haven't picked him yet, but yeah.
Now, the other difficult part of this is to Tank Dell, because I like Downs a lot. I don't like him enough to drop Tank Dell.
Bingo.
This isn't just the issue with this isn't a week to use him. Buffalo has been minimizing wide receivers all season long. Tyler, what else can you drop? I need to know. Like, is Kareem Hunt, like, what CH potentially coming back?
Seeing if he hasn't said anything else in here. Not that I could see.
Like, I mean, send in another super chat, but like, try to give us, Tyler, a little bit more info on your bench guys and who we can drop. Because yes, I would love for you to pick up Downs and start him. I'm just not dropping Tank Dell.
Right. But all right. So, but let's just answer this. So let's say he has no option. You're gonna go with Ford, and I would still go Dell over Kareem Hunt though. I don't know what kind of version of Kareem Hunt we're gonna get here.
He's set to play. He has no injury designation. The Saints top 11 team against running backs.
He did come back and say he could drop Pacheco or Wicks.
Drop Pacheco at this point, I think. You're not okay. Why can't you start Wicks this week?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Why are you starting Wicks?
Yeah, we would probably go Wicks there actually to start.
Tyler, start Wicks and Ford. And don't look back.
Yes, sir. Done and done. So, and Steve just said in the chat, Steve is in here. He said Aaron Jones left the game with a hip injury.
There's that. Yep. And of course, he did not get another reception.
Questionable to return. All right, here we go. Now, see, look, this is where we get a little bogged down here with the show. So I'm just going to start picking some stuff here. And we'll see. And who's that running down the field? All right, let's get to a question. Let's be serious here, as Anthony would say. Let me see. PPR. Do I start Stevenson or Dell? I'm starting Dell here. I'm scared of Stevenson right now. We've heard the reports of the fumbling issues. Was it confirmed that Antonio Gibson is going to start the game yet? I know there's a lot of whispers that if Stevenson continue. Okay, yeah. So when you got a player who's fumbling a lot, he's not going to see the field a ton. So I think they're going to try and give Antonio Gibson a go here and see what he could do. So I would go Dell here, but I get it. We just talked about it, Anthony, with Dell, but still going Dell.
I'm gonna still go Ram Stevenson. And the reason why, Steve brought up a good point the other night when we were on this show. you could start a game. That's one play. You're a starter,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
they said Zeke was going to start in Dallas, and he did. What happened?
Sure.
Like, and he was conceding touches. This matchup against Miami, and this for anybody else who has these New England running backs and you don't have a lot of other options, I think both New England running backs could potentially give double-digit PPR points because there was more context involved. They said, I read on Stevenson, he's not going to start, but he's going to play. So like I'm reading into that, maybe a 50-50 split, maybe a 60-40 split. And the Dolphins, they're actually worse than the Cowboys in fantasy points allowed. And that's hard to do to the running back position. But last week, Pollard and Spears, both double digits, and three other running backs, 2 over 20, 1 over 13. So I think both of these running backs, like this is going to be a slow paced game. And I can realistically see a point where both Mostert and Achane are startable.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I disagree. I'm still going the other way, but that's fine. But I will tell you guys, if you guys do send in a super chat, we will get to your question at the front of the line because now we got a lot of questions. So I'm just going to kind of hop around here. But let's do it. We've gotten a couple JSN questions. Here's another one: JSN or Xavier Worthy at the flex? Anthony, both ceiling plays in my opinion. But I think I would trust Jackson Smith a little bit more than I would Xavier Worthy. Both have the ability to be home run hitters, but yeah, I'm gonna go JSN on this one. But it's close.
I think
looking for that same sort of output,
I think I'm also leaning JSN. Yeah, I mean the Saints secondary. This is another solid secondary so far. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, who had 19, every other wide receiver held under 14 PPR points.
Let's go with this one from over on the YouTube. Should I flex Leggett or Dunze or Dell?
Flex Dunze or Dell?
I don't like that matchup for Leggett. I don't like it today. We're talking about defenses that are playing well. I mean, the Panthers are going up against the Bears. I'm gonna go with Dunze on this one.
Yep, I'm here with Dunze too, playing a matchup against Carolina Panthers.
Look at you and me agreeing on something. That's fantastic. All right, there we go. Let's go here. I choose you, Pikachu. Over on the YouTube, he said, "Hey guys, if you had to pick two, which ones? Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, Amari Cooper, Chris Olave."
Flowers, Downs, Cooper, Olave. Cooper and Olave.
Cooper. Okay. Cooper and Flowers for me. I like Flowers a bit this week, so it would be Cooper and Flowers for me. We go at the cesspool. That is a tight end position. Jamie wants to know David Njoku or Mike Gesicki. I like Mike Gesicki in this matchup. Let me just pull this up here. Going up against the Ravens. The Ravens have given up points to the tight end position, so I actually have him plugged into some of my DFS lineups. So that's where I would be leaning. I don't trust a lot outside of, say, Amari Cooper or Jerome Ford. I don't trust much out offensively from the Browns. So yeah.
I'll slightly lean Gesicki, although like Njoku in week 1 pre-injury did have 5 targets, but like Washington on paper, if you look, they're actually very good against tight ends, and part of that reason is because they're very bad against wide receivers. So I like Cooper and Judy a lot, and I'm not in love with Njoku this week. So I'll go Gesicki.
All right, let's get to the next question here. I'm just taking a look at something here. We actually have a defense question here because defenses matter. And I think Garrett Wilson, I think Sauce Gardner got an interception. No, he did not. I lied. I'm sorry. Chiefs or Browns DST this week. Anthony, what says you on this front? Always nice to get a defensive question. I'm just pulling up some numbers here, but where would you sit here if you had to pick a defense?
Kansas City, like it's just Browns are a very good fantasy defense, but like Washington,
Mhm.
their offense is firing on all cylinders right now. So Kansas City, I'd rather take them at home against the Saints, who they can be good, they can be bad offensively.
Yeah, we have now
And
seen
like
both
we
sides
said,
of the
like
coin with them.
Carr has historically played well against Kansas City and Spags, but like Kansas City's defense must carry them until they figure something out on offense.
Yeah. Yep. I would take the Chiefs in this one. That's where I would be sitting. All right. Let me see. We also got Jason back in here. Who would you add as a longer play running back depth? Justice Hill, Algier, Trey Sermon, Bigsby, half point per reception. Thank you again. As a longer play, if this was a one shot deal, I would go Trey Sermon just because Jonathan Taylor's out. But if it's a longer play, I think I would go Justice Hill slightly over Tyler Algier.
I'm with you on Justice Hill because when he's used, they really have him part of the pass catching game plan.
And the Vikings are trying to get in the end zone, but it's not working. We got to ask this, but I'll just pull it up anyway. It's familiar to what we answered earlier. How worried should we be about Ramondre Stevenson? Would you play Lockett over him? That I don't do. In that case, I'd probably go
No, I'm still
Ramondre.
going Ram here.
Yeah, in that case, I would. But yes, I am. I am worried about him though with the fumbling. It's obviously a problem. So yeah, let me see. Let's go here. Also, if you guys at some point, I'm gonna move down to the end of the chat. You guys can just start firing questions down there, and we'll just start the back end too. Juan over on the YouTube says, "Who for my wide receiver 1 and 2, RB 1 and 2, and a flex?" All right, so he needs 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex here. That's what that sounds like to me. Let's go with the wide receivers first. He's got Calvin Ridley, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jacoby Myers, DJ Moore, Juwan Jennings, or Dell. So he needs 2 there. I would go Wan'Dale, and I would go.
Well, Ridley is out today. He's on a bye.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a no go. I'm going Wan'Dale, and I don't like this. DJ Moore slightly.
Yeah.
I want to say Jacoby Myers, but I can't. Going up against the Broncos, he's gonna get the Surtain treatment. That's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Wan'Dale and DJ Moore myself.
Okay.
And then you need I'm gonna go Walker and Ford and Kyron.
Well, he said Breece Hall. He's already playing him right now. So he said shake my head. So that's unfortunate. So after that, I would go. I'd go Kyron Williams slightly over Kenneth Walker.
Kyron gets who again? Rams.
Actually, I'll just go ahead and I'll just flex.
Packers.
Yeah. I'll play Kenneth Walker and Kyron Williams. So
yeah, me too. Same here. Same here.
Yeah. So all right. Let's move on to the next question. Ryan saying, hi, how you doing, buddy? Start Wicks, Connor, or Achane in my flex today. It's a standard league. Standard. Oh, it's always like soft porn to me. But Anthony, what says you?
I am going to go. I'm going to go Wicks. There's going to be so much opportunity with no Doves, no Watson, and it's a really nice matchup against the Rams. I like them over both Connor and Achane, and I do like Achane, but Wicks probably the most likely to have a complete game. I can see all 3 scoring, which is what we want in standard, but in terms of like who can give us maybe a monster yardage game and a score, that's probably Wicks.
Yes, and we have Alicia. There you go. See, I did it right this time. You want to know why? Because I cheated.
Is that the same Alicia? Because it's a different profile picture.
No, it's the same one. She changed her profile picture recently.
Okay,
come on, she's allowed to do that.
All right.
This isn't Russia. What's the matter with you? All right, this is the point of the show. I'm teasing. This is the point of the show where we're going to go to the back end of this of the chat because we got a lot of questions. So if you did fire something in earlier and you're still here, we apologize, but fire it in. We're going to start working from the back end. And also, as always, if you want to send in a super chat, you get to cut the line then. Let's go here. We answered something familiar to this earlier anyway, but Zone Read Fantasy says Flowers or Downs and a 0.5 point per reception. I'm going Flowers slightly over Downs.
Yeah, here I am in agreement with you, as we said earlier.
Yeah,
with Flowers.
Jacob says Ramondre or Tyrone Tracy.
Ramondre or
PPR,
Tracy.
by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna still go Ramondre here, and I like Tracy slightly. A lot, but I'm still gonna go Ram.
Yes,
that matchup is so good against the Miami Dolphins, and now that they don't have their other guy, Phillips, right, done for the year, IR.
Yep.
Yeah.
And William Stevenson, of course, with the cheeky comments. He loves working from the back end. There you go. Good job, buddy. Appreciate that. Enjoy that too, and have fun. Get in there. Keith Chap wants to know.
Send Mike a video.
Definitely don't do that. Please do not do that. That is a great way to get blocked. Devon Achane or DeAndre Swift. Also, pick one wide receiver: Hill, Ayuk, Deontay, Wandell, Shaheed.
Ooh, Swift coming off the good game. They get the Carolina Panthers. I like both of these running backs a lot.
Achane has been ugly without Tua. It's been bad for him. You know, we always talk about how bad it's been for the wide receivers, but he has generated little to nothing.
I might go Swift here, and you know, the matchup is great against Carolina, and the matchup's great for Achane too, but like there's just more to offer. Like Chicago can at least threat of a passing game. We don't really have that right now. So I'm going to go Swift and Ayuk.
Yep, I'm going Ayuk as well. I mean, it's funny. I love Wandell, but I'm not picking him over a lot of these players I'm getting asked about. But William Stevenson says Downs, Deontay, or Jennings, go Phils. It's fucking disgusting. Phillies suck. They can go to hell. They can kick rocks. How's that sound? That's my input on that.
They're playing, right?
They're playing later today at 4:00, but the Mets won yesterday.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Little baseball content.
I didn't know they started.
As long as the Mets keep it close, they have a shot late, and that's what happened yesterday. Anyway, but let's be serious here, Anthony. Downs, Deontay, or Jennings. This is where I go Downs. This is where I go Josh Downs. If it was a better matchup, I could make a case for Deontay Johnson. Jennings, listen, we had that one fun week. It was fantastic. It was beautiful, but it's not, with all these guys back, it's just not going to be a common thing for Juwan Jennings.
I agree.
So there you go. And Daniel Cap says, yes, sir. My Mets and Hurricanes had comebacks. Yeah. Cheers, man. Fantastic. All right. Let's get to another question here as I start working from the back. Let me see here. You think Kraft is the best tight end on the waiver wire? Kmet, Kraft, Fant, and Parkinson available. He also said, due to some crazy complication, Cooper Kupp has been dropped. Wow. How much fab do you think is appropriate for him? All right. Well, let's answer the tight end question, Ralph. And then, I do think, it's between Kraft and Parkinson for me. I think Kmet is good, but Kmet is very much hit and miss. Fant is even more hit and miss. He's more miss than he is hit. So those guys aren't really on my radar here. But Anthony, which one of those tight ends would you pick?
For today or long? I mean, for today or long term, I guess.
Let's imagine
both.
Let's imagine it's just for today, as tight end has been a cesspool, and you don't want to sit on one for too long. Probably
it's between Kraft and Kmet, and I slightly lean Kraft.
Same, slightly, but I like both of them today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but then also though his question about Cooper Kupp, what's an appropriate amount of fab?
80%.
Yeah, I mean if
you're in a league where can you still pick up guys without fab? Because some leagues, you have nothing that you can just get the scraps. Then I might go 90 to 100%. There's not many opportunities to pick up somebody like Cooper Kupp on a waiver wire.
And by the way, the last update we've had on Cooper Kupp is that he is targeting a week 7 return.
Yeah.
So
this is an all-in play.
Yep.
But if you have to leave yourself like $10 because in case you need to make a couple dollar pickups, fine. But like you're going all in.
for sure. All right, let's go to Chris. He's asking, need 3 to start. Moss, Debo, Ayuk, Jennings. Jesus, you get the Niners there, huh, man? So Moss, Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, Tucker, Downs, or Shaheed. I know we've picked Ayuk a couple times here today. I do think that this is a game where he gets right, but I would take Debo over Ayuk in terms of the 49ers.
You don't like both?
I'm working through it. I might pick Ayuk as well, but
I like Debo. I might go Debo, Ayuk, and Downs. And if
that's
you
literally what
don't,
I was just mouthing.
and if you don't want to go both Niners, then I might flip one of them for Shaheed. But I think this is a spot where you can go go both Niners in terms of Debo and Ayuk, not Jennings and Ford.
Yeah, I mean, you can go both Niners. I mean, I had mentioned earlier, last 3 matchups against the Cardinals, Brock Purdy's had 8 touchdowns. So there's a world in which both of these guys can score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So yeah. So and then Downs would be the last guy for us. All right, let me see here. What else do we have? Sam over on the YouTube. He says full point per reception. Start either flex. Start either as a flex. Gotcha. Brian Robinson Jr., Zach Moss, or Zay Flowers. So Anthony, Brian Robinson, Zach Moss, or Zay Flowers. He's got to pick one for his flex, and it is a full point per reception league. Does that make Zay Flowers more appealing to you or no?
And Robinson is expected to go, which is surprising, but that is what it is.
But are you worried? Like, yes, he's good to go, but how much is he going to give you? You know, is there that level of concern there for you or no?
There is. I think I just go Flowers regardless. I like his matchup a lot against Cincy. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. Plus, can the Browns stop the run? That might be the strength of their defense right now.
Yeah.
And maybe they try to focus on, hey, like we're going to minimize these running backs and let Jaden Daniels beat us.
It's close for me between Moss and Flowers, but I'm still going Flowers. I've mentioned it already on this show. I like Flowers this week. I've picked them multiple times here with some of these Q&As you guys have sent in. So, yeah, that is where I'm going. So, there you go. Let's see. What else do I have here? Andrew Burwell over on the YouTube says, fellas, do I start Tyreek or Kareem Hunt? Ay, coño, at flex. 12-team half point per reception.
Here I'm going Tyreek.
This I gotta you can start talking. I gotta bust out a very special sound drop for this one because this one in particular scares the shit out of me.
It does. So, it's not easy. Like Hunt's gonna get some volume, but like the Saints are a really good defense still.
I'll go Tyreek here.
I don't love it. I don't love it. But Tyreek in this spot this is one of those few opportunities. I say roll him, and a lot of it's because of the matchup too. The Pats.
I just don't know what kind of version. I said earlier, I just don't know what kind of version of Kareem Hunt we're gonna get. But we've also seen what we get when there's no Tua there for Tyreek. This is the grossest question you could have asked, Andrew. But we appreciate it. But I'm going Tyreek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good times. Let's please stop talking about this. Let's go to something else. Oh, by the way, where the hell's Whistle Dick? Haven't seen him today. What's going on with that?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's normally here on a Sunday morning, though.
God, come on, man. I want to play the sound drop. Anyway, football at dark, which sounds scary. Hopefully there's a light on somewhere. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well too, man. Tyrone Tracy or Antonio Gibson. I'm going Antonio Gibson here. We talked about Ramondre Stevenson quite a bit here. I'm a little more worried about it than Anthony is. So I'm going Antonio Gibson here. I think this is a good opportunity for him to play well. And yeah. And I also like him in the passing game too. He's going to get some targets too, I feel like. He's shown an ability to do it. So
I think I'm going to go Tracy here. I think we had a similar question. I don't know I think it was like Tracy or Sermon. And I went Tracy. Even here, I'll go Tracy. And there's spots where I like Gibson, but like Tracy's just interesting to me. We don't know who he is. I like the talent. There is no Singletary. There's no Neighbors. It's people. Yeah, I'm going to go Tracy.
Do we want to do a pizza bet on this one?
I'll rock a pizza bet.
All right. We'll rock a pizza bet.
Why can't no full point? No fucking half point.
Okay,
I'm not a half
Jesus.
point guy, man.
All right.
Full point.
Very hostile.
Full point.
You were very selectively hostile. You know that? We got to work on this anger management of yours. Prolific _ Corey over on the YouTube. Colby Parkinson or Waddle? This is okay. Fine. Fuck it. Sometimes you have to just say what you're thinking. I'm going Colby Parkinson.
Really?
I'm doing it. I'm not making a pizza bet on it, but I'm doing it.
I'll go Waddle.
No.
Again, I'll play the matchup here. I like the matchup more for Miami.
Listen, if we had if there was Cooper Kupp was back, this wouldn't even be a conversation. Then I would say Waddle. But I feel like while I do think Whittington is going to get more targets today, his snap percentage went up so much between weeks 3 and 4. I still think Parkinson's going to be a guy that Stafford's going to look to, and I also like the matchup this week. Go ahead.
Green Bay is a good matchup. Parkinson did have 5 targets through out of 5 games. You might be swaying me here, but it's like he has yet to have double-digit PPR points. That's the scary thing.
Okay, well, what's Waddle been doing? You want to pull up those?
Yeah,
those
I'm
fucking
going
horrific
to.
numbers.
I want to do my fucking due diligence, of course.
You do.
So Waddle, yeah, I mean, Waddle's actually been having a little bit of a higher floor than Parkinson's. Ugly as fuck.
Yeah. Come on, buddy. Come over to the dark side.
Jesus. I'm going to go Waddle. Fuck it.
You have no manners.
All right.
I think more marbles to start Waddle because of how horrific that quarterback situation is. At least you got Stafford.
I'm not listening to you. Charlie Lewis wants to know Joe Flacco, who's, I mean, I don't know if they've officially ruled out Anthony Richardson, but he's not done. Yeah. But so Joe Flacco or Trevor Lawrence? For me, I'm going Joe Flacco. Listen, we've had the elder fantasy football darling quarterbacks in the twilight of their careers. We've had Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now Joe Flacco takes over that mantle as being your savior for certain weeks. I'm going Joe Flacco here. I do think Lawrence has started to play better than what the general consensus is on this Jaguars offense, but I'm still going Flacco.
I'll go Lawrence here. If there was a time to start Lawrence, it's against the Colts. It's a familiar opponent. He's playing like if you look at it's not like he's turning the ball over. He's not playing like bad football. The Jaguars overall is playing bad football. He's not turning the ball over. And this is a nice matchup against the Colts. And I think he averages, just over 20 fantasy points a game in his career against the Indianapolis Colts. Up to, he had a run where 4 out of the past 5 games over 20.9 fantasy points.
You idiot.
All right, very good. I'm going Flacco here, but it is close though. I'll say that. We did just have a nice return, by the way, Anthony, from Xavier Gipson, putting the Jets in a position to maybe score before the end of the half. Hopefully they do. They're losing 17-0, which is pretty gross. All right, let's get to another question. Niners worldwide, yeah. Goddamn right. Bang, bang, Niner gang, Anthony. Full point per reception. Don't roll your eyes at me. Devon Achane or Zach Moss. Also,
do you feel like an adult saying bang, bang, Niner gang as much as you do?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So, but full point per reception, Devon Achane or Moss. I'm going Zach Moss here. Chase Brown's there. That can be a problem, of course, but Moss was still able to put up points last week. And like I said earlier, Achane has been affected just as much as those wide receivers in Miami without Tua. So I'm going Moss there. Anthony?
I'm gonna go Achane. I'm starting. I'm telling way too many people to start Miami Dolphins today, but it's the New England Patriots matchup that's doing it. And what's veering me, and I like Moss, and last week, they played the second worst run defense in the NFL for fantasy running backs. Now Moss and Chase Brown, they get Baltimore. They're the second best. So what Moss is to me is extremely touchdown dependent, and he can get it. He scored in 3 out of 4 games. But I think that, like, if there's ever a game where whoever they're putting out there, Snoop Huntley can play competent football, it's against the Pats.
Okay. I wasn't saying OGs to you. I was saying OGs. There was almost another interception.
I'm saying OGs to myself because it's just an ugly situation for Miami Dolphins. But, like,
not great, Bob.
It's
Packers
now or
or
never.
Packers or 49ers as far as the defense. I'm going to go with the Packers here. Packers are one of just 3 teams to have over 20 points in a week, second in points scored defensively. So yeah, that's where I would go. The Packers slightly over the Niners. Niners aren't too shabby either on defense in terms of fantasy points. I think they're just outside the top 5. You going Packers here or Packers? Packers against the Rams, Niners against the Cardinals.
I'll go Packers against the Rams.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Cardinals still have guys, right? Like, they still have nice players.
Yeah, they do. And also A-Chain has Mostert back too, right? Yeah. So Mostert can get in on the anemic fun that they're all having over there.
And
Mr. Light Jr.
Moss and Chase Brown can run into a brick wall. Like, we're splitting hairs here on that.
I don't think we're splitting hairs.
Okay.
Whatever. Mr. Light Jr. By the way, I started off the show saying that we were agreeing on everything. We haven't agreed on a fucking thing in like quite an amount of time here. Oh, we got a Al Lazard touchdown.
Yeah.
You know what? That calls for this. Hold on a second. Where is it? Yeah. I say it all the time. I need the whole song, Anthony.
I might still have the whole song.
Yeah, we gotta fucking find it, dude. Man, we would rock out on this show with that. Holy shit. All right. Let's be serious, though, Anthony. Mr. Light Jr. on the YouTube. Who do I start at my flex? I got Zay Flowers in currently, but not too big on him based on recent performances. But I have Zach Moss, Rashid Shaheed, Tank Dell, and Keenan Allen. Appreciate it. Well, we appreciate you, dude. The back end of that list of players, I'm not even considering Tank Dell and Keenan Allen. I still go Zay Flowers here, Anthony. We've both said on this show, obviously he feels differently, but I'm expecting some points in this game today with the Ravens and the Bengals. And I expect Zay Flowers to be a part of that.
It's Zay or Shaheed for me. And it's not fair. Like, I have them well above Moss, Tank Dell, and Keenan Allen because it's either matchup based why I'm down on those players, or they're not doing much. And that's primarily Dell and Keenan Allen. Moss, I view extremely touchdown dependent. I think the safer plays Flowers. If you want a little bit more ceiling, I think Rashid Shaheed's the way to go.
All right.
But I slightly lean Flowers. But if you're like, hey, I played Darnell Mooney or London, or maybe you played both, or you played Cousins and a combination of one of those players on Thursday night, and you're in a deficit, a really bad deficit, I think the higher ceiling play is Rashid Shaheed.
All right. And just another FYI here, I'm sending in to the chat a link to our DFS contest for this week. $5 entry. First and second place both take home some money. So feel free to join. You can play with us. Probably not Anthony, because he's probably not going to join.
I said I would do it. I said I would do it.
I'm just going to keep hammering you on it until you do. Fam first over on the YouTube, Trey Sermon or Kareem Hunt. I feel like we had a question like this, but I'm going Trey Sermon here. I like the opportunity here. No Jonathan Taylor.
It's Sermon or
Hunt. And also, like,
I'm going to go Sermon.
You're not going to get into this situation where they're going to be stacking the box because Joe Flacco has the ability to throw. Defenses respect that. So I'm going Trey Sermon here.
I'm going to go Sermon here as well.
Okay. Zach is letting everybody know that there are only 4 spots left in our DraftKings contest. So yeah, sign up. Anthony, you might not make it in. Jeez, pressure's on. Buddy. All right.
By the way, I did put the full version of the hacksaw in our options right now.
Just play it. I'll start answering questions. Well, yeah. All right, let's go. Juan wants to know: Komet, Kittle, or Freiermuth this week? I'm going Kittle. It's not even close. That's not to say I think Kittle's going to be amazing this week. Just he's got a higher ceiling and he's got a higher floor than both Kmet and Freiermuth. So, Anthony, can you make a case for one of these other tight ends, or is it George Kittle for you?
It's Kittle for me.
Yeah.
I
just,
Dallas, I feel like they can just be beaten so many other ways where I don't know how much Freiermuth's going to be needed. Like,
right.
It's going to be a big Pickens and Najee game, and Fields, obviously. And again, like same thing with the Kmet situation. Yes, he can have a big game, but they're so bad in Carolina defending the run and defending wide receivers. If there's an offense that I think can spread it around and still pour it on, we know the 49ers can do that.
Right.
Where we can see multiple guys have big games and,
sure. I've already mentioned it multiple times. Purdy has done well against the Cardinals. So, but yeah. Listen, Zach wants it, dude. He said, "Ho, he wants it, man." God damn, Anthony, teasing everybody now. All right. Jasari wants to know over on the YouTube, Trey Sermon or Josh Downs, last flex in a full point per reception league. In this case, I am going with Josh Downs here.
I'll go Downs here as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's close, right? It's close-ish in a way. All right, yeah.
No, I don't think it's close. I have Downs, I think, a little bit higher than Sermon, just because it's because of Flacco. It's the Flacco. It's the matchup. I think this could be a big Pittman and Downs game.
I think we might be almost caught up on questions. Maybe might be just about there. So yeah. All right, let me take a look at something else here. There's another question here. Yeah, I think we're caught up. I don't know.
The hour mark, so
Yeah, well, yeah, no, yeah, we'll get going soon. Nice opportunity for us for you to join the DFS contest, and maybe that's why people stopped asking questions, because they want you to hurry up and get in there. But
we were busy last night. We've been busy this week, so
business.
I don't mind wrapping up early on a Sunday. Honestly,
right.
selfishly,
okay,
I love answering everybody's questions and doing these shows. But well,
I'm saying we're pretty much caught up on questions. Yeah. If you haven't had your question answered yet, and if you're in here, fire them in. Yeah, do it now. Edward Zhang says, "Morning, fellas. Full point per reception. Start 1 RB, 1 flex. Achane, Hunt, Sermon, Deontay, and Higgins." I'm going Sermon, and I am going with Higgins. If there was a better matchup for Deontay Johnson, then I'd probably go with him over T. Higgins. But we've said this talking about Zay Flowers, where we expect points to be scored in this game today. T. Higgins is on the other side of that. I think he's going to get some points too. So I just don't like this matchup. Listen, you're able to adapt your mind. Last week, I wouldn't shut up about Andy Dalton to Anthony to the point where he thought I had a crush on him. But now this week, the matchup's not great. So I'm not going that way. So give me Sermon, give me Higgins. Let's have some fun. Anthony?
I'm going to go Higgins and I'm going to go Higgins and Achane.
Okay. I don't understand, but okay.
Like I said, I've been out on Miami all week for weeks now, but this matchup in New England presents an opportunity.
All right. Well, see, now I'm starting to think that you have a crush on Achane. So
I do have a fucking hard on for Achane. Are you kidding
me? Whoa, easy now. Oh, wait a minute. I got to find that other music. Antsy, start answering this question. Higgins, Wandell, DJM, PPR. I assume that's DJ Moore.
Right? I like all three. I think I'm gonna go DJ Moore here.
And then while I play this in the background, this is Anthony when he thinks of Devon Achane. So
yeah.
Spicy music on, feeling himself up a bit. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go. Let me go with Higgins. I'll go Higgins here. I love the volume that we're gonna expect to get with Wandell, but just some of these other options I'm getting, I just like a little bit more. So.
And Zach. I'm going Ram. Madison.
Okay. No. I was trying to read the question, but you were, yeah. No, he's asking for the listening audience, Madison, Leggett, or Ram Stevenson. I'm going Ram Stevenson.
Yeah. same
Again,
here.
I've said this 37,000 times, so 37,001. If there was a better matchup for the Panthers, I'd probably go to get. Addison is going to get me a 0. Michael
I
Lopez
think there's
says.
going to be a second half in this game,
Well, there is going to be by rule. There needs to be a second
but
half.
you know what I mean.
So
You know, I might take the Jets money line. Who knows? What I'm going to do? I'm going to see how like the first drive of the second half goes.
Fuck balls.
Maybe a second. Like I want to see some possessions, but like we've seen the Aaron Rodgers magic before. His backups against the wall. No, all right. That was a must-have drive. Was that not a must-have drive for the Jets and Aaron Rodgers?
1,000%. Yes, that breathes new life into the game. Sure.
You know, back up against the wall, 2 interceptions, terrible like first half, and then Aaron Rodgers somehow cooks. So I don't know.
All right.
I want to see. You know, I love Aaron Rodgers.
Me
The
too.
Jets have a lot of guys I love, so I want to see them win.
Sure.
Yeah. Plus,
And
like, Minnesota, man, geez, like if this is real, we're looking at and Hawkinson's coming back. We're looking at like Sam Darnold MVP odds. That is real.
That's real.
I don't think
That
he
is
gets
real.
Offensive Player of the Year.
No,
I think
no.
we're looking at he's either getting MVP or comeback player if he continues to play well. And he doesn't even have to play like he's been playing at a high level. If
Right.
Minnesota wins that division, Sam Darnold will win comeback player of the year. I don't think that's good enough. Like to get MVP, I think he needs to play exceptionally well, and Minnesota has to win a division. But to get comeback player of the year, just get this team to a division.
Zach Linton says he's taking the Niners minus 7.5. You goddamn right you are. Enjoy that, buddy. Bang bang Niner gang. And Anthony, by the way, you asked me earlier, do I feel like a child when I say bang bang Niner gang?
I would.
I would rather have that than my head coach talking about the size of his players. Schwanson.
Our head coach didn't
Cock
do that.
balls.
Our owner did.
Your owner, yeah, your owner. Your owner.
Cock balls.
That
It
just
doesn't make it
means-
better.
That just means he cares.
Cock balls.
He cares quite a bit. Cares about
Cock
all that.
balls.
There you go. All right. I don't want to be on that team. I'd request to get traded.
I
All
wouldn't mind another goal from Leipzig right now in Germany.
right. Okay,
That would
this
be
seems
nice.
like a proper time to end the show. We're an hour or two.
Yeah, let me go
so-
sweat that out, please.
Yeah, it's you sweat that out and probably sweat over some Devon Achane too. So, all right. Oh yeah. Oh God, so good.
Fucking
It's
great.
so good. So money.
You know what? You know what's going to come next?
What?
Well, let's just get another second. We need to build it. We need to at least get to the second hoe.
Of course. Gorgeous.
I think the
God-
next one I'm
God
going
bless
to
that man.
is Akeem and Slick. We need Jive Soul, bro.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That is going to do it for today's show. That we
I
What?
just came up with an idea. I'll say it off air, but
Okay.
I know what I'm going to do. All right.
We appreciate you guys joining us. We hope you had a wonderful time. Hope you get your questions answered. But definitely come back tomorrow. Feel free to like and subscribe to the show. But until next time, stay thirsty. Be kind to one another. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.